Namaste, this is Sangeeta Lavrabiaji, and today I'm delighted to be introducing you to some of the practices from lesson 20 of Yogamaharishi Dr. Swami Gitananda Giri, Guru Maharaj Ki, Yoga Step by Step. In this very important lesson, Swamiji introduces several practices and makes the important distinction between Asana, Kriya and Mudra. Not only making the distinction, but also showing a sequence between the Shava Asana, Uttana Asana, Nava Asana, Nava Kriya, Navaka Kriya, and then Vajroli Mudra 1 and 2. And so he introduces the difference and shows a flow between an asana, a kriya, and a mudra. In this lesson, also Swamiji introduces two keystones of Hatha yoga practice, which are Shava Asana and Mukha Bhastrika. Shava Asana is a very well-known posture, is a posture where we lie down on the floor with our back to the floor and completely relax. However, this posture, this asana, is not a passing out, like many people think, but it is a very alert asana in which we completely relax, but thanks to the breath and thanks to our awareness of breathing and prana in our bodies, we are able to relax while staying awake and energizing the body. So we will see Shavasana in a few minutes when we demonstrate it. And then also Swamiji introduces Mukha Bhastrika, Mukha mouth, Bhastrika a bellow-like breath, a forceful breath, like the name itself, Bha, shows, right, with its own acoustic quality. It's a Bhastrika, Bha. So in this Bhastrika, which we'll also demonstrate after this first introduction, the breath is expelled completely by a series of blasts and until the body is fully emptied. And this is a very important practice because, as Swamiji teaches us, we are able to completely inflate the lungs and free the body of the toxins of carbon dioxide, which is the cause of a lot of acidity in our bloodstream and therefore may cause inflammations and other forms of irritation in the body, emotions, and mind. So we will practice that as well. And then we will look at Shavasana, as we have said, then Uttana Asana. In Uttana Asana, from the Shava Asana, we breathe in and bring the torso up while keeping the legs stretched. And then we come back down by rolling the spine back to the floor. So on the incoming breath of Uttanasana, Ut means up, and so we come up with a straight back as possible. Of course, all of these practices can be modified to a certain extent to allow the person who's practicing them to actually do them. If a person is unable to come up, they may also be able to visualize it with the breath and at least have a sense of the pranic flow of that movement to get into the asana if their body cannot do it physically. Uttanasana, Shavasana into Uttanasana is then the preparation for Nava Asana. From Uttanasana, we will be lifting our legs, so we will be coming in on an in breath, holding the breath in and bringing the legs up into Nava Asana. We will do this 3 times. So we come up Uttanasana, breathing in, hold the breath in as we bring the legs up. And then here we will practice 3 times with 3 different variations of the arms and legs. The first one is just like Swamiji describes in the yoga step by step, with the hands close to the torso, really very close to the pelvic area here. The second one is with the arms straight by the legs. And then the third one is with the arms straight above the thighs, but a little bit above the surface of the thighs. And there's also a fourth variation where the arms can be out to the side, so we may be able to do the 4 of them. Uttanasana brings up the energy and the prana from the top of the head. As we lift up, we allow the prana to come down into the khanda, which we have already learned in the previous lessons is our earth brain, is this area of the pelvic, the sacrum, the earthly brain of our body. And we want to not only bring energy down to this area, but also cleanse the body, cleanse the bloodstream by holding the breath and releasing the breath. And this is what is also done in Nava Asana, because when we come up in Uttana Asana, we hold in the breath when we lift the legs, thus creating a pressure because the lungs are inflated, and so they're already pressing the internal organs down a bit. And then we bring the legs up, allowing the blood stream to come to the khanda. And so between the pressure of the lungs and the pressure of the blood stream coming into the khanda, we truly have an increased pressure of blood as well as other fluids in the area of the khanda and the abdominal organs and the sexual organs and the glands of this area. So then when we release this asana, Nava Asana, that's when we truly feel this flushing of the blood again into the stream. And then as we relax into Shava Asana, we can truly let this flow permeate other areas of the body. So we'll do this Nava Asana 4 times so we can see all of the different variations. And then we will go into the Kriyas that are associated with Nava Asana. There are 2. So Swamiji explains in this lesson that an asana is a steady posture. It's a way of being, right? Asana comes from asi, to be. So we try to hold the asana with as much grace as possible. So we go beyond the dualities of effort and surrender, and we try to just keep the asana as lightly as possible. With the Kriya, we add movement. Kriyas are accompanied by movement. And so with the Nava Kriya, we come back in the same way that we have come back for Nava Asana, and then we add a rowing action with the breath held in. So we add movement to that already pretty strong flux of energy, prana and blood to the khanda. But now adding the Kriya of the Nava Kriya as rowing action, so it can go both ways. But of course it's different if you're rowing forward or if you're rowing backward, in the same way that it's different in a boat. So you can experience the feeling of both. This brings the energy into the body. This moves the energy out of the body. So in line with wanting to bring the energy into the khanda, I will be rowing inwards. And so then we relax, come back one last time into the series of the Nava Asana and Nava Kriyas. And the last one is the Navaka Kriya, in which we become with our body the vessel of the sailing itself. And so we will move the body into a rocking action, breathing out as we roll up and breathing in as we come back to the Navasana. So this will all be demonstrated in a moment. Then we'll take a deep breath into Shavasana, because from here we're going to a very advanced practice. And this is the Vajroli Mudra 1 and 2. Vajroli mudras are part of a series of mudra that are taught in the Gitananda tradition that are advanced. Apparently, they may not look as advanced as some fancy asana that you may see out there, but they are advanced because they require an inner control that is difficult to have if one doesn't have other practices of yoga established in their lives, like Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama. All of these practices of the Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali truly benefit this mudra. So it's not just how physically fit we are or how well our legs go up. With the mudras, truly the work and the practice is so refined and so internal like yoga as a way of life is required to perfect them. And I will do my best to demonstrate them, but I am a sadhaki on a path of growth, so I'll just do my best with them. But Dr. Sir is going to share also some perfect demonstrations from Gitanjali So you will be able to see those as well. Just to have, the image of the ideal geometrical posture, because that's very helpful. And, we have here in the yoga step-by-step Yogacharani Lalita Devi, who demonstrated those in the picture. So, yes, the Vajroli Mudra is a mudra that is very powerful, that is a practice that cleanses the gonads, cleanses the sexual organs, cleanses the reproductive organs, the ovaries, the testes, all of these organs that are related to the kanda and to this earth brain, in which, like the earth, we're able to nourish creativity, fertility, and not just in the physical sense or the physiological sense with parenting, for example, or gestation, but also at an emotional and creative, intellectual level, being able to truly overcome the lower klesha that arise from this area, like abhinivesha klesha, their survival impulse, or even some of the shatripu like jealousy, greed, wrath. They're all negative toxins that are dwelling in the kanda. And so these practices are really helpful on a variety of ways. And of course, in the yoga step-by-step, Swamiji describes them perfectly. And so I will truly recommend that you read Swamiji's words directly for that. So let's begin. Om Tat Ganeshaya Vitmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Dantihi Prachodayate Om Tat Paramparyaya Vitmahe Jnana Lingeshwaraya Dhimahi Tanno Guru Prachodayate Om Yogamaharishi Dr. Swami Gitananda Giri Guru Maharaj ki Jai. So we shall begin with the Mukha Bhastrika. So in the Mukha Bhastrika, the lips are in the Kaki Mudra, the crow's beak. And we're taking a full Mahat Yoga Pranayama, lower, middle, upper section of the lungs, front, side, and back, full breath. Place our hands here, close to our torso. And from here, after we inhale, with the Kaki Mudra, we're just gonna blast out the breath through the diaphragm without breathing in. So it's not like that, it's just breathing out until we're totally emptied. And with the blasts, we calm down until we're totally emptied, and we stay for just a moment of retention, of kumbhaka here, and then lifting the chin, we come up on a full Mahat Yoga breath, and we do this 2 more times. Dr. Nanda shares with us this beautiful potential, this beautiful possibility for this practice to remind us that each breath is a rebirth, or at least the potential for a rebirth. And in this way, even we can, breathing in, truly recreate our birthing from the birthing canal, particularly for working with a history of difficult childbirth or with people who had difficult childbirth. There's so much in each one of these. So, okay, let's begin. Breathe out to prepare. Breathe in.
you can take a breath in and you may stay for a few breaths in Dharmika Asana. Breathing in.
Mukha Bhastrika can also be followed by Supta Vajrasana, just coming back, which I'm just going to do in a partial posture just to show you and remind you, but I'm going to go straight ahead into the topic of the class today. But it is possible to be following this Loma Viloma practice of Dharmika Asana into Supta Vajrasana as a reminder. And from here, we're going to come into Shava Asana. Remember always to check in with the body and to do any necessary adjustment or jati before we go into the next practice. So from here, we're going to come down to the floor. Always remember to lower your shoulders a bit and also look up to see that your legs are aligned. So first, keep your feet together before you splay them out apart. And then Swamiji says that the hands can go, the palm of the hands can be up or down. I prefer to have it up for when I release my feet, but he gives both options. So see what works best for you for your anatomy. From here, always remember to make sure that the shoulders are lowered and that you are able to turn your head from side to side a bit. And then you can relax in Shavasana and close your eyes and breathe. Good. So this, of course, can last for a while. So we're going to continue now. And so from here, we're going to go up to Uttana Asana 3 times on an in-breath and then come back down on an out-breath. Going up, we go up by turning the palms to the ground, keeping the feet together, and using pressure on the hands, we're going to come up with a straight spine as best as possible. But on the out-breath, we're going to work vertebra by vertebra so that we truly open up the space in the back and also gain more flexibility in our column. All right, so breathe out, breathing in, and breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. I'm going a little faster here. Of course, you can use any counts of your breath that you're comfortable with, and also come up on 6 and coming down on 6 as well, or 8, or counts that you have already practiced. So for the next one, I'm going to come up in Uttana Asana, holding the breath, because I'm coming up on an in-breath. I hold the breath, bring the legs up into Nava Asana. And I'll do this 4 times with the 4 variations. Breathe out. Breathing in. Hold the breath in. Breathe out. And out and out and out. Breathing in. Second variation. Breathing out. Relax. Third variation. Breathing in. relax. I always relax with very dramatic sighs, but it's not necessary. It just feels so good. And last variation, breathing in. Relax. The next one is Nava Kriya. So we'll come up in Nava Asana and then add the rowing gesture or movement. Breathing out, breathing in. Hold the breath in. Breathe out. Relax. Just observe the flow and flushing of the oxygenated blood in the body. Next one is Navaka Kriya, in which we will be rolling on our back. Swamiji recommends that we roll very slowly. I am going at a medium pace. Breathing in. Hold the breath in. Breathe in. Breathe out, I meant. Breathe in as you come up, as in Nava Asana. Breathe out as you roll back. Breathe in. One more. And relax. And now we're going to practice Vajroli I. Vajroli I comes from Shava Asana, and in Vajroli I, from Shava Asana, we're going to come up into Uttana Asana, breathing in, and then whooshing out the breath, we're going to bring the legs up. Swamiji says that ideally we will be able to bring the knees and the forehead, front, nose together, but it's not always possible, as you will see. But it's okay, it's okay. What's important is the practice of it, and then noticing how step by step we gain more strength and purity in our practice, and therefore we will be able to make progress. But as Dr. Sir says all the time, do your best and leave the rest, and that's what matters, not the picture perfect end result. Of course, that's important, but what's important is what we learn about ourselves in the practice and what we learn about the practice through our experience of it too, right? So, Vajroli I from Shava Asana. Breathe out. Breathe in, Uttana Asana. And then whooshing out the breath, bring the legs up. Now, breathe in. Come back to Shavasana. We'll do this 2 more times. And Vajroli II is a mudra. So we have seen the Nava Asana becoming a Kriya. And then in this one, from the Nava Asana, so Vajroli I is from Shava Asana, Uttana Asana, but Vajroli II is Uttana Asana, Nava Asana, and then the Kriya, and then the mudra. And in time, and particularly with careful care and supervision of Dr. Nanda and a guru of this paramparai, one can learn to practice these with the bandhas. So Muladhara Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha, the three knots, the three the bandhas in the area of Muladhara, of Manipura and Vishuddha. And that's truly a magnificent practice, but one should truly ask a senior teacher of this paramparai and Dr. Sir and his students to teach you. So it should not be attempted before direct teaching, because it can be hurtful if it's not done properly. So we're not gonna, and that's Swamiji introduces the bandhas very briefly in that way, so we're not gonna do them in this demonstration, but know that there's that waiting for you. If you haven't done them, it gets more and more exciting, and it's truly such a blessing. So we'll attempt this. Sometimes I'm able to do it, sometimes I fall, sometimes I go back and forth, but I think that rather than being ashamed or not demonstrating, I'm just going to demonstrate it where I'm at. It's life. Yoga as a way of life, life as a way of yoga. So, okay, so we'll do this. I will come up to Uttana Asana and then bring the legs up on an inhaled breath, and then whooshing out the breath as in a Bhastrika, I'm going to bring the legs up in Vajroli. And then, as when I'm ready, I'm going to lower the legs back into Nava Asana, and then as I relax the legs down, I'm going to inhale. So there's a big holding in the breath, whooshing out the breath, staying in the held out breath for a while, and then inhaling as I lower the legs. So in Shavasana, always check in, make sure you're aligned and relax. Then breathing in, Uttana Asana. Holding the breath in, Navasana. And then whooshing out the breath. Vajroli. Navasana. Breathe in. And then we can go back here. It depends on how you feel with this practice. Swamiji recommends actually that Vajroli is done from Navasana 3 times. So I'm going to try that next. But I wanted to show you first where you come back with your legs down, because it may not be possible immediately to do Navasana Vajroli, Navasana Vajroli. It's quite advanced. I'm going to attempt it and see how that goes. So I inhale here and whoosh out the breath. Relax back in Shavasana. And then this is where the Shavasana can really allow you to receive all of the benefits of these practices. Truly is remarkable to feel what happens in the body. It's like, wow, it's a real like cleansing. It feels like I'm coming out of a sauna, of a Finnish sauna with Lataji and Simo. So thank you. We'll finish with another round of Mukha Bhastrika because the Bhastrika helps to cleanse and these practices are so cleansing. So we'll finish with that. Om Lokha Samastha Sukhinu Bhavantu Sarve Janaha Sukhinu Bhavantu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti